things off. Got it. Okay. Double check. All right, we got sound.
Great.
All right, let's do it.
Would you mind I record the meeting on my side so that I can repost it on my own Facebook page?
Sure, I can also download the live stream from the group if that's.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, okay. That would be great, thanks.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. Hello, everyone. This is Jamie Rufe from Taiwan Impact Entrepreneurs, and it is my pleasure to have Jeanie with us tonight. She's our group's go-to digital marketing expert, and especially in context of digital marketing in Taiwan. So Jeanie, welcome and thank you for joining us tonight.
Hi, everyone. Happy Tuesday. Happy rainy Tuesday.
So without further ado, I think everyone over the past 2-3 weeks has seen our slow cascade of posts regarding Jeannie's digital marketing course that she and Tai have partnered together to produce for all of you. So we'll be informing you more of some of those details if you haven't seen them in the post, but we'll touch on those at the end of today's interview. So the very first question I kind of want to ask Jeanie today, which is, first of all, Jeanie, tell us a little bit about your background, but more specifically, how did you get into digital marketing?
Yeah, first of all, I would like to thank Jamie and the Time Group for their invitation for launching this course. And I'm very excited, and thanks for inviting me to be on live today with you. And so I am Jeanie, and although I look very Taiwanese, but I'm actually from Hong Kong. And I am an immigrant to Taiwan, like many of you in the Thai group. And I moved to Taiwan like 2 years ago. And so I have 7 years experience in digital marketing, and I gained my own experience from running my own online business. I started my own online business 7 years ago, back when I was in Hong Kong. And then I gradually, when I gained my experience, some other companies also asked me for support on copywriting and digital marketing. So that's how I slowly migrating into the field. So now my business is focused on developing digital marketing strategies to help companies in Taiwan growing their business and also selling to local customers. And I also offer copywriting support and translation support because my company is now focused on serving foreign entrepreneurs in Taiwan. The reason for that is because I'm also a foreign entrepreneur from Hong Kong. And believe it or not, although I look very Taiwanese, but when I come to Taiwan, I experienced a lot of cultural shock. Back in the days when I was in Hong Kong, I am very accustomed to see everything in English. And I work in almost like a whole English environment, and all our informations, all the things would have a Chinese version and English version. But when I come to Taiwan, I was shocked by the fact that many information, especially very colloquial local informations, are in Chinese. And I was very shocked that many digital marketing informations relating to Taiwan markets are only available in Chinese. And this is the reason why I start my business on digital marketing, focusing on serving foreign entrepreneurs.
So I just want to quickly touch on that point before we dive into more details about your course, Jeanie, because I think you bring up a good point, which is for you, you noticed that a big part of marketing in Taiwanese, or kind of the problem that you wanted to address, was either, it's either just all in Chinese, or there's no, you could say, globalization, or there's no English to it. Would you say that was kind of the core problem that you wanted to address?
Well, I would say that, yeah, it is a pain point that I see many foreign entrepreneurs are facing here in Taiwan. And because of that, they have a lot of frustrations and have a lot of confusion when they are doing their own digital marketing here in Taiwan. And because I think in terms of localization of digital marketing in Taiwan, I would say there are two layers. The first thing is that you would need to produce a lot of Chinese content if you are focusing on selling to local Taiwanese customers. And this is very different from my own experience growing up in Hong Kong. In Hong Kong, we will have foreign companies putting out advertisement only in English, and it is perfectly okay, and they still make a lot of profit in Hong Kong. But it is in Taiwan, unfortunately, is not the case. If you are selling to local customers, you must have your content in Chinese. And also you will need to localize it and use expressions, very colloquial expressions, because this is the way how local customers prefer. And the second layer about localization of digital marketing is the use of tools and platforms. Because in Taiwan, they have their own, I would say, rules of digital marketing. They have their own preferred platforms in Taiwan. I think Jamie and many of you would notice that Line is big in Taiwan, which is something that is very unusual in like Western in the States or yeah. And also and Facebook and Instagram are big here. In the States or in other European country, TikTok is big, but still it's not like a major platforms in Taiwan. So for businesses, for foreign businesses who come to Taiwan and start selling to Taiwan market, I think the first thing that they should know and should equip themselves of is the knowledge of how to use these tools that are used daily by local customers to launch effective marketing.
So just to summarize, as you mentioned, those two layers, effectively it's localization in two different areas. So there's localization in language and colloquialism and whatnot, but then there's also the tools and the platform ecosystem. You have to make sure that both of those are aligned. Would you say that's a correct summary?
Yes, totally. Because if you are not first, if your marketing message is not put in Chinese, and it's not put in a way that echoes with your local customer, they would not be able to understand the good of your product or service. And the second thing is that if you are not using the right tool and be on the right platform where your local customer are on, all your marketing efforts will be a waste.
Yes. So I think that's a perfect segue into kind of the description and the background behind your course that you're going to be offering on June 5th for Ty and other members outside. So first of all, what is the name of your course?
My course is called Self-Driving Digital Marketing Strategies for Selling in Taiwan. I have make up a very long name, which I can I can't remember, but
it's all right.
Yeah, the essence is, but I think I have mentioned the essence is I will help people, I will help my participants to set up a self-driving strategies for selling to local customers here.
Okay, so let's break it down a little bit. If we're, from a high level, maybe like an outline, what are some of the things from a high level perspective that you're going to be covering in your course?
Yeah, so my course will be divided into three parts. So the first part will be an overview of the local digital marketing landscape here in Taiwan, because as I said, there is not much English information on this area. I think all of you would be able to find general information of like putting advertisements on Facebook, etc. But for how to execute that in Taiwan or about the usage of local tools like Line, as I'm aware, there is not much information in English. So the first part of my course will be providing an overview of the tools that people should be using for digital marketing in Taiwan. And I will also be mentioning, explaining, introducing two other tools. One is live marketing. Another is influencers marketing, because I see that many people are interested in knowing how these two marketing tools or marketing strategies can help them to grow their business. But also there are not much English information on that, so I will be giving an introduction about those two aspects in my course. So this will be the part one of our course, an overview of the digital marketing landscape in Taiwan. So in the second part of my course, I will be helping entrepreneurs to develop a strategies for effective marketing in Taiwan. And so I have consulted over 20 companies here in Taiwan. And from the consultation, I do notice a few recurring patterns or problems with the marketings of the entrepreneurs that I've encountered. So the first problem I will describe that as a throwing spaghettis onto the wall and see what stick problem. So digital marketing is a field with a lot of information, a lot of constant changes, and many entrepreneurs are overwhelmed by the amount of information, and also they are very busy running their business and they can't keep up with all the information. So sometimes I will see many entrepreneurs would use an approach which, as I put it, throwing spaghettis onto the wall. So when they hear someone saying that, oh, I have a very successful experience using these tricks to sell my products, like now is many people say that they have a lot of success getting a lot of visibility dancing on TikTok. So some entrepreneurs, when they hear that, they would immediately jump onto that and immediately try to do things, try to put on a video dancing on TikTok, hoping they will be achieving the same result. But the thing is that, as I mentioned, TikTok is not like a popular platform with a lot of coverage in Taiwan. So, so this kind of trying out different tricks and strategies without considering whether that tricks is really something that would your business nature and really something would help you to achieve your goals is a problem that I see many entrepreneurs that I have encountered and I consult. So the second problem that I see in many entrepreneurs is that they are very, I would say, to be an entrepreneur, for most of the entrepreneurs that I've encountered, they are very hardworking and they understand the value of spending time producing content and working on their social media promotion. So I'm not saying any of you are lazy or something, or not willing to put the effort on social media marketing. But I would say that sometimes you overdo it. And by overdo it, I mean that I see many entrepreneurs try to be on every platform. So they would try to do a blog, do a podcast, be on Facebook, be on Instagram, be on TikTok, Twitter, LinkedIn. But and then they would spend a lot of time on social media marketing. They would spend a great deal of time producing content to be put on all these social media platforms. So the problem is that we all have limited time and we have our own business to run. So if you are spending like a great amount of time producing effort, producing content just to be on every platforms, and because many entrepreneurs believe that the more platform that you are on, the more visibility that you will gain. And this is partially true, but I have to say that because we have just so much time and we all have limited time, and I would say that given we have such limited time and we will also need to take care of our own business, we have to be smart in choosing the platforms to be on, because it's not necessary for us to be on every platform. I would say that the key is that you would need to be on only the platform where your ideal customer is. So the first thing that I would suggest all entrepreneurs should do and is to find out where their ideal customers are on. So to identify only those platforms where most of their ideal customers are on. And in Taiwan, I would say that for most of the cases, most entrepreneurs would find their ideal customers on Facebook, Instagram, and Line. So these will be the platforms you would want to focus on. So if you can like focus on Line, Instagram, and Facebook, I would say that you already got like 90% of the market of the total customer pool. And then after you have identified which platform you should be on, then you should produce the content, the right content that your ideal customers would prefer. So that would be something that depends on your business nature. So if you are a B2C company, you are selling things like fashion, like clothing, like food and beverage, you may want to be on Instagram, because Instagram will be a perfect platform for you to show off your products, and you can show off nice photos on them, and by that you can attract a lot of customers. And you may also want to be on Line as well, because Line is a tool which will allows you to push notification to your customers. So these will be two platforms you want to be on. But if you are a B2B business, you may want to focus on producing long form content like blogs, or you would want to be on LinkedIn. So to summarize what I just said, to run an effective marketing strategies in Taiwan, first, you will need to identify the right platform. Second, you would need to identify the right content. So you may think that may sound very easy, but believe it or not, I said that I have 7 years experience in digital marketing, but I just came into realizations of the 2 points that I've just mentioned, like in the recent 2 years.
Absolutely. If I may quickly interject, especially because you brought up a really excellent point. And I think it's important to note that, yes, there are some things regarding digital marketing that you need to keep in mind in context of Taiwan. But I think a lot of what you just mentioned are just general digital marketing principles that will help you be successful, as in the general strategy of where is your target market? Where is your watering hole? Where should you be spending time? Because you mentioned something which I think is, if you watch YouTube or some of these other social media, there are these digital marketing gurus who are telling you you need to be everywhere all at once. And unfortunately, a lot of us take the bait. And as you said, time is a really precious resource, especially as a small entrepreneur or a small business. So I think you brought up some excellent points.
Yeah, well, believe it or not, although the things that I have said might sound very simple, but I do see that as a recurring problems or recurring blind spot for the companies that I have consulted, because as I've said, I have consulted over 20 companies here in Taiwan, and every week there would be someone coming to me asking for digital marketing support or advice. And I do see this mentality, these problems of thinking that they need to be on every platforms and not knowing what would be the right contents to produce is a recurring problem that I observe for many entrepreneurs and many businesses.
Yes, absolutely. And I think that, for those of you who are already signed up for Jeannie's course or are considering it, I think just my feeling from my limited experience doing some digital marketing, I just think the step of Jeannie working with you to figure out that strategy will be a game changer, I think, for a lot of people.
Yeah, thanks for saying that. The realizations that I've just mentioned, being on the right platform and producing the right content has been a game changer for my business as well. And I learned that from my colleagues from Hong Kong, and I have the fortunes or lucks to be in collaborations with many leading marketing companies in Hong Kong and many experts in the digital marketing fields. I have collaborators in SEO, and I have collaborators in social listening, and I still have a lot of collaborations with different organizations in Hong Kong, and I also guest lectures on digital marketing and copywriting with a leading Asia online school on digital marketing called HD course. So I would say that although the things that I have mentioned, the two rules may sound very simple, but you still need to have a lot of intel and a lot of experience and a lot of inside knowledge. And also because digital marketing is it's a fast changing field. So you would also need to have you have to keep up constantly with the trends and the changes on digital marketing. So something that may work yesterday may not work today. This is how fast digital marketing landscape change. And so, the two things that I have told you is which may sound like some general principles, but in reality, to execute it in the right way, you still need to have a lot of information and experience.
Absolutely. And I kind of just want to quickly echo what Jeannie said, which I think when it comes to digital marketing, especially, I think sometimes, especially maybe less experienced entrepreneurs, small businesses who are just kind of in over their head sometimes with all the different things they need to do, is sometimes we have a tendency to overcomplicate things. And quite often, I think simple seems to work best in digital marketing.
Yeah, definitely.
So Jeannie, you mentioned kind of those two high-level steps. So get the content right, get the platforms right. Is there anything else that the audience should know about your course?
Yeah. I just realized I forgot to mention the third part. So the third part in my course is that I will be answering questions from my participants because during when I asked when the participants sign up for the course, I have actually included two intake questions. First is the platforms that they are on in Taiwan and they are using now for their marketing. And the second question is the biggest struggle in marketing right now. So I do see, I'm very happy that we have quite a good sign-up number. Our enrollment has been going great. And I have, but from my observation from the answers from those who have signed up for my course, I do see some recurrent patterns. Like what I said, they don't know how to be able to efficiently producing content, and they suffer from a lot of burnout, and they think that social media marketing is very time consuming, and some of them are also confused by or having troubles in localizing their message. And so these are some recurring patterns or common questions that I've observed from our participants. So in the third part of my course, I will be addressing those questions. So if you are considering enrolling a course, you are very welcome to think about what is your major marketing struggle right now. And I will, if I know that in advance, then I will be able to maybe coming up some kind of answers for you in course. And another thing is that I will be providing a lot of free information, free resources and tools in the course for my participants. So there are a lot of tools that you can use for free that will help your marketing. And I will also provide a free ebook on Instagram marketing in Taiwan, which I have actually spent quite like a month to prepare it. And I've just very recently finished preparing the ebook. So I would love to offer a copy of the ebook for my participants. And so from the ebook, they would be able to learn about data and statistics about marketing using Instagram to market in Taiwan. And those data are very specific to Taiwan markets. And I don't think you can easily find those statistics and data in English. So this is the first thing in my book. And the second part of my book, there will be 8 tips, each very practical tips that I will include in the book, which will help our participants to grow their account and also sell to Taiwanese customers.
So just to kind of summarize, the overall kind of all the parts that Jeanie has covered is number one, because I'm sure many of you, who've already registered for the course, or for you, maybe if you're on the fence, I think this is a 2.5-hour course. So it's a tight packet of time. So I think all of you are definitely considering, what are some immediate action items, takeaways, that I can take from Jeanie from this course. So number one, get your content strategy down. And Jeanie can share all of her experience and knowledge on that. Number two, get the right platforms. And so as she said, with Taiwan, localize the tools and platforms that you use, learn how to use those. So I'm sure maybe some of you are familiar with Facebook and Instagram, but I'm sure maybe many of you are very unfamiliar with how to use line marketing. That's probably a whole new ballgame for many of you. So you learn how to use that. And then I think, which is probably one of the most valuable things, is you can get direct help, over-the-shoulder help from Jeanie on your specific issues and questions. So those are all I would say those are probably the 3 main things that you can really cover in that 2.5-hour time frame. Jeanie, is there anything you want to add on top of that?
Yes, so my course will be providing an overview of the marketing tools and available in Taiwan. And then the second part will be, as Jamie said, the strategy part of the platforms, the choice of platforms, and also the content strategies. And the third part would be resources and answering questions. And there's one thing that I want to add to what Jamie has said about live marketing. So as I mentioned, there is an impact questions in for my participants in the course about the platform that they are using, and I'm surprised that only one out of all our participants said that he is using Line for promoting his business in Taiwan, and I'm really shocked because Line is I would say an amazing free tools for marketing in Taiwan. And this is something that I think many businesses, especially if you are e-commerce and food and beverage, this is something that you don't want to miss because it is a free tool and it allows you to broadcast your message to your participant, which is extremely valuable because if you are on Instagram and if you are on Facebook, you would know that now if the organic reach of the posts on these two platforms are very low. And in order for you to push your post or your marketing information in front of your customer, you will need to do like a pay ad or boost post, and it is not free on Facebook and Instagram, but it is free online. You just need to register an official Line account with your company, and you can use Line to push notifications to your customers. So it is insanely like a good thing that many entrepreneurs, especially if you are in Taiwan market, you shouldn't miss that. If you have been using Facebook and Instagram for promotion, I think you will get what I mean. And also there are a lot of other functions, built-in functions in Line messaging. Like you can use it for sending out coupons. You can use it for one-on-one chat your customers. You can use Line official account to like building your own membership system. So these are very valuable things that entrepreneurs should take advantage of for running their business.
That sounds wonderful. So I'm sure, I think this is actually a good segue just to go. We do have 3 questions in the comments. So before we get to the Q&A, I just want to do some quick housekeeping regarding the details for Jeannie's course. So it is taking place on Sunday, June 5th from 2 o'clock in the afternoon to 4:30. So it is a 2.5-hour Zoom course. It will be online. If you are unable to attend, there will be a recording available, paid recording available for 2 weeks. The following 2 weeks after that course, we will have additional posts and information regarding how to access that. Now, currently there is an early bird special where if you sign up and pay, so that's the condition, you have to pay before this Friday midnight, you only have to pay 990 NT. However, after that time, up to the 4th, the regular cost will be 1400 NT. Okay, so let me with that in line, and we will have the link to our Google form in the comments below. So if you like what you've heard from this live stream, then all you have to do is click on that and fill in the details, and I will reach out to you regarding payment. Okay, so the first question we have, Jeannie, is from Adarsh, and he says, in your experience, apart from language and the marketing tools, are there any other aspects of marketing to the Taiwanese that you find different from marketing to Western markets, or let's just say international markets as well?
Yeah, well, this is something that I have observed with my colleagues in general, not just in Taiwan, but also applies to other Asia Asia market as well. Is in Western countries, some marketers would promote by would put in their marketing message some form of challenge, or so they would they would intentionally challenge their customers to draw their attentions, and this works in Western markets. But in Asian market, especially, I would say it's not only in Taiwan, it's sometimes it's applied to Hong Kong as well. You can't really like putting like a in-your-face challenge to your customers, because in Asia, in Taiwan or in Hong Kong, when you are doing your marketing, you really need to take into account of what we call like face value, because in like Asia, people would values a lot about saving face, and if you are like doing challenging your customers, sometimes you will get that fire.
I think that's a great response. Yeah, I can definitely see how that would happen. The second question is from Andrew Clark, and he asks, results on a social media campaign are not always immediately noticeable. What are the general metrics an entrepreneur will use to gauge the success of their campaign? And how do you decide to pull the plug on one that does not seem to be working?
Oh, yeah, well, metrics. This is a very good question. Thanks, Andrew. Yeah, there are a lot of metrics that you would need to watch for digital marketing. And I would say that one nice thing about digital marketing is that it will offers you a lot of metrics or KPI which you can monitor, and monitoring and knowing how to read and how to analyze those data would be very helpful for your marketing. So I would say that if you are running an advertisement, you will need to look at the CPC, cost per click, and also CPM, cost per million thousand views. And yeah, these tools would be the key metrics if you are running an ad. If you are running like a general Facebook or Instagram post, you will want to look at the views and engagement. And so if you can keep on watching these two metrics and keep an eye on the engagement that you got from the post. And whenever you got a post with good engagement or bad engagement, and you think about what caused the good engagement or what caused the bad engagement, and you keep moving in the direction of improving on your post and getting more engagement, it will naturally help you to grow your account. And about metrics, that's one thing that I want to, that is one misconceptions or misunderstanding that I see many entrepreneurs would have is they are very after the numbers of followers for the page, or yeah, for Instagram page or Facebook page. And sometimes some business would go into the extremes of, because they want to have a big, appear to have a big follow on Facebook or Instagram, they will buy big followers. And this will, I would say that for my 7 years in marketing, and also for my discussions with other colleagues in marketing, we all agree that followers, number of followers, is just a vanity metric.
Yes.
And in fact, the funny thing is, if you get a high numbers of followers in Instagram or on Facebook, the higher the number of your followers, the lower your organic reach of your posts. So say if you are having like 10,000 followers on your Instagram or Facebook account, you will have a lower organic reach than you just having like 1,000 followers. Yeah, so this is how funny now Facebook and Instagram works. So I would say that instead of tracing like followers number, you should be aiming at building a following which is loyal to your brand, and which is I would say that like your hardcore followers that really buys into your value and your offers, and you should keep nurturing these followers instead of just blindly chase after growing your account.
Absolutely. I just want to quickly piggyback on that statement, because this is something that Andrew and I have learned over the past year and a half, 2 years of building up building up a Facebook group, a community, is that basically by building a community, you're doing exactly what Jeanie, you just said, which is you're slowly building this group of people, which is your hardcore, you know, your fans, your tribe. I believe the term some people use, your tribe, and it's very powerful when you get that dialed in. So Jeanie, I think that was the last question in the Q&A. So we've been going on for a while now, so I think it might be time to put a bow on this. Is there any last things you wanted to throw out before we tie it off for tonight?
Not really. Let's see what is the last question as well.
Okay. So I think I misread. It looked like Andrew's question repeated twice, so I thought there were 3 questions, but there was this second question. So if any of you, if you watch this live stream interview after the fact and you have any questions or you want to clarify, you know, some details about Jeanie's course, feel free to just drop a question down below, and Jeanie and I will be watching over the comments like a hawk and make sure that you get the answer that you need. And we hope you enjoyed this interview and found it informational and valuable. And Jeanie, again, thank you for joining us tonight for this really interesting chat.
Yeah. Thanks for Jamie. Thanks, Jamie, for like launching this live and invite me to have this chat with you this evening. And if you guys have any question, you can also DM me in case you don't want to put it on a public space. Let's keep in touch, and I look forward to see all of you in my course on June 5th.
Yep. All right, everyone. Jeanie, thanks again, and everyone have a wonderful evening. Take care.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.